So I recently just got the Android 8.0 update for my OnePlus 3, also known as Oreo or Android O. I bought this OnePlus 3 1 year ago, and this thing is still super fast. Everything about this phone is still just as good as when I first bought it, or maybe even better. This phone actually gets better and better with each update. When I first got this update, I didn't really see much of a difference. One thing they did add was the notification dot. You can see here on the Gmail app, there's just a small dot on the top. That's basically just to say you have a new email. When you long press on the app, it'll pop up with a few options you can choose, and that was actually on a previous update, but now they've added this top gray bar that gives you information, basically is a shortcut to the app info. And you can also hit this little icon next to it, which is a shortcut to the widgets for that specific app. There are a few things that changed in the quick settings. The auto brightness is pretty much the same as before, just slightly different. Most of the icons stayed the same. You'll notice the mobile data changed just a little bit. And then one other thing that changed is basically just the order of these icons up here, where your photo used to be on this side. And so this is just a real minor change, but something that I noticed. When you go to edit, it gives you a few different options, and you can just drag those up to the top. And so for instance, there's battery saver, and then to turn it off, you can just hit that. Or if you want to delete that, you just hit edit again, drag it back down there. Now when you swipe down, you can access the settings instead of having to swipe again, which that's nice. But the one thing I don't like about this, so before, when you just swipe down one time, that's a shortcut for on and off. So that would turn it on, hit it again, that would turn it off. Then when you swipe down here, it would take you to the Bluetooth settings or the Wi-Fi settings. Well, now they changed that in Oreo. Now it's just on and off switch. Why you would change that, I have no idea. Personally, I liked it better how it was before, because now I've got to go back to settings and find Bluetooth and go into the settings there. That's probably the only update that doesn't make sense to me. Now, the next one is, if you go to settings, font. I don't remember font being an option before. I thought it was just a default font. And you can see down here that Roboto and OnePlus Slate are your two options. Before it was on Roboto, which is pretty similar. Now watch, I switched it to OnePlus Slate just so that it's a different font. Really, because without changing the font, it still feels like I'm still on the previous version of Android. They also added Shot on OnePlus, and you can add this in the camera. So if you go into settings, Shot on OnePlus watermark. So you can turn that on or off, and that'll just put it over top of the photo so when you post it online. And you can also add your name. Now this here is actually pretty cool. When you go to your wallpapers, they now have a Shot on OnePlus. So here's some of the images that you can pick from. And these are just random photos that people across the world have shot on their OnePlus phones. And there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Those are the main differences that I noticed. There are a couple small things. For instance, when you go to storage and memory, they now changed how that looks. So they use this little, almost what looks like an infographic, and they give you how much is used of your storage right there, nice and big. They give you the percentage over here, which looks pretty nice actually. I like this layout better than before. Again, a lot of these updates are very minor. There is one other thing they updated. If you go into settings, apps, parallel apps, This is one thing they updated recently, and I don't know that I would ever use it, but let's say for Twitter, you want another Twitter account. Basically is what parallel apps, you could use a parallel app. For instance, if you wanted another Twitter account, you could turn that on. Then when you go to your Twitter app, there's gonna be a second one that has a little circle. So now you've got 2 Twitter apps. One small change on the lock screen is this font is now upper and lowercase where it used to be all caps. I mean, that's how minor this update was. Now, one thing I did notice while I was at work, which I thought was weird, is where it says Cricket, it said AT&T. Then when I come back home, it says Cricket again. I'm not sure why that changes because Cricket is on AT&T towers. Now, once you're connected to a speaker or your car or just anything that's Bluetooth, it'll show you right up in the notifications. So for instance, it now has a separate line item right under your quick settings. And when you click on that, it just gives you a little more information. So that's kind of nice just to see what you're connected to through Bluetooth. Don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up if you haven't already. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.